Hey ladies, what's up? I wasn't going to do a camera on this because the Wi-Fi here is spotty at best. Um, like I'm already watching my uploading and seeing I'm only at 20% uploading. So we'll see. We'll see if we can make it through this episode in the clear. Also, not am I only battling Wi-Fi, I have who knows what amount of time before my husband and my boys come banging on this door. Actually, they can't barge through the door. They'd have to bang on the door because I'm the only one with the room key. So, all right. Hello, ladies. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Revitalized Womanhood podcast, my To the Core episode, my Friday episode. And guess what? This is To the Core episode number 50. 50. I'm so excited. Could not be more proud of myself, honestly. Let's give a pat on the back where a pat on the back is due, right? So my dear friend Trish Mickler, a lot of you know Trish, she is amazing. What did she do? She posted something on Instagram, and in true Trish form, she made sure that it came with what's it called when you preface something like, oh, by the way, I'm not showing this as a way to brag or showing off. And I was like, what the heck, girl? You brag. You show off. What it was a post of her storage shelves. And if any of you that know her, she has the most amazing garden, and she of course bottles everything, and so her shelves are like a work of art. Honestly, I tell her all the time, every time she takes a picture of something out of her garden, I'm like, that's going in your book, that's going in your book, that one's going to be the cover of your book, you know what I mean? So anyway, for her to have empty shelves go from bare shelves to the amount that she's got bottled and up on her shelves already is unbelievable in the amount of time she's done it. And so for her to say, I'm not bragging, just showing you, like, she's so humble. Like, guess what? My comment to her was verbatim what I'm saying to you. Brag about yourself. Be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back, okay? Because nobody else is going to. Like, hopefully other people will. I mean, of course, we all want those people in our lives. Hello, I created this whole community so that I personally had a whole community full of people that would do that for me. But seriously, pat yourself on the back. Like, if you can't do that for yourself, then nobody else is going to. What is that saying about relationships? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna not do this justice, but basically it's the way that you treat yourself, like, is what the relationships will be like that you accept in your life, right? So if you're used to treating yourself like crap, or if you are always down on yourself, or you have low self-esteem, then when you get into a relationship with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever relationship you're getting into, you're going to accept someone treating you that same way because that's the level of love that you're used to receiving, right? So baloney, ladies, love yourself, cheer yourself on, pat yourself on the back, brag, okay? There is a difference between being an asshole and saying like, oh my gosh, we travel around the world and we've been to 50 countries. Like, people that don't know us think we sound like. Okay, we got to pause this. There's my kid. Sorry, Mandy, you're already going to be editing. Oh, Mandy, you are going to have a field day trying to edit this episode. I'm sorry. Of course, one little monkey already came up, not only banging on the door, but ringing the doorbell, which is like a buzzer here. Okay, so what I was saying was, if someone is like, oh, look at us, we've been to 50 countries, right? Whatever, which is like what our good friends tease us about all the time that we sound like. But no, honestly, bragging in a good, I'm proud of myself way, I'm proud of my husband, I'm proud of what we've accomplished, is, you know what? We worked our freaking butts off. We lost everything. We totally learned how to live a different way to be able to get the things that we wanted in life and live a way that we wanted to. And we worked our dang butts off to do it. And now we're doing it. And what that looks like is we've been to over 50 countries, and that's different, right? That's different than just some a-hole that just wants to be a story topper and like rub it in your face, right? I am doing it, hopefully, in a way that's showing others you can do it too. If I did it, you can do it. If someone did something, you can certainly do it too. We are all capable human beings of accomplishing greatness, right? Amazing things, especially women. Okay, ladies, all right? So, anyway, I don't even know where the point of that was going. I'm sorry, but I'm so glad to have an episode up. So we're going to just get through this, ladies. Okay, what I want to talk about today is the monthly topic in the Revitalized Sisterhood this month is basically immortality, the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? What's the meaning of life versus the purpose of life, right? These are all questions that I'm sure we've asked at one point or another. We are talking about these things not only to dig into what's the meaning and purpose of life, but also I have reserved the last 2 weeks of this monthly topic specifically for something that I feel so passionate about that one day maybe I'll make my own, I don't know, whatever, but I'm creating a death book. Rick is laughing so hard because he says that's so morbid that I'm calling it a death book. I am not going to call it a death book, even though I think it's kind of funny, like to lighten the concept of the fact that we are all dying. We're all going to die. I mean, obviously it's horrific that some people it's too early and they're too young or, unexpected. Obviously, okay. But if you go back and listen to my episode with Beth McDonald, amazing. And she talks about losing her husband and what her grief looked like, right? What that's looked like for her and cracking awkward jokes and being uncomfortable and trying to break uncomfortable silence with inappropriate jokes or laughing or right. I mean, we all deal with these things in our own ways. However, there is one thing that is preventable. Okay, preventable. That's a good word. There's one thing that's absolutely preventable, and it is being prepared. And what that looks like as being prepared, your family being prepared in this, God forbid, instance that this happens, right? So I'm creating a death book, which you can find a bunch. There's a few online. I've looked them up. It was funny that this came up in that episode with Beth McDonald because she was talking about how it's a concept in the military because, of course, you have to be prepared with this concept that your loved one may not come home, right? Or may get injured or incapacitated or death, right? These are things that military spouses deal with. It's a normal thing. So they have what's called a death book, and some of them, I mean, it's a common thing to have. And that she talked about how this instance, when she was working with a woman, the woman just walked in after the passing. She got the news that her husband had passed away, been killed in the service of our country, right? And she walked in calmly with her death book, and Beth helped her through the arrangements. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. And I think it does help you focus the energy and allow you to grieve in your own way at the time when it's appropriate for you, right? Not in those moments when you're trying to arrange a funeral or try to find the passwords for the bank accounts or trying to determine, do we have life insurance? Do we have, what kind of insurances do we have? What investments do we have? I mean, husbands and wives, you'd think that this is common knowledge for each other, but then it happens and it's like, wait a minute, I thought we had more time. Or even Rick and his grandparents, my mother-in-law talked about how there was just piles of paperwork, and they would even say, Dad, you need to have this in order. Dad, you need to have this ready for us. And he would say, it's fine, it's ready, it's all ready to go. And then they get to this drawer and it's just piles of paperwork, and they like post-it notes, and they have to rummage through it, and it takes so much time. So instead of being able to grieve, instead of being able to live in the happy memories, they were going through this paperwork trying to figure out the ins and outs, and who's the power of attorney, and how can we get this notary to sign off on this so we can get into the bank accounts, or whatever, right? You get what I'm saying. Not only that, not only thinking about those kinds of things, but also I do not want my family to come visit me in the event that I have Alzheimer's, or in the event that I have no idea who these people are. I want them to go live their life, right? That is my choice. I get to say that, and that gets to take that. My mom has said this to me too. My mom has told us this too. We've lived through relatives in homes suffering from this horrifying disease. And it's not fair. It's not fair for them. It's not fair for the loved ones. It's not fair. And for me, I don't want my family to live that way. I don't want them to come visit me. I don't want them to come visit this shell of a person that I once was and never will be again. And those are the last memories they have of me. No, please go live your life. Please go remember me in the way that I want to be remembered. This vivacious, youthful, beautiful 40-year-old, right? Like, remember me that way. There's got to be a song about this. Anyway, you get to say these things out loud in this book. It's basically your final words of comfort, right? It's your final act as a loving, nurturing, selfless wife, mother, friend, daughter, sister, whatever it is. This is your last final act of being able to take care of your family. And I think that's so beautiful. Anyway, wow, I'm recording. Hello. Oh, hello. Welcome to the Revitalized Womanhood podcast. Okay, back to the death book. His diapers are in his... Figure it out, I guess. Okay, poor Mandy. She just there's no way to edit this. I'm sorry. Okay, so back to it. This is what we're focusing on, this monthly topic in the Revitalized Sisterhood this month. And so I'm creating my own version of the death book, and I'm hoping to have a better name of it than that, but I think the death book is totally appropriate, and I think it's kind of funny and great. Yep, that. Yep, or this. Whatever. Okay, get out, Hayes. Wow, this is next level. Okay, please. Please. Rick! Okay, shut the door, please. Oh my gosh. Wow, I love it. I really hope that the people that thought one thing about me, because I was all put together in my office and professional, and every time I did one of these podcasts, and now you get to see the behind the scenes of what it looks like to be the traveling trimmers, right? Travels with the trimmers, whatever. Okay, so let me read you the introduction for my death book. Name coming soon. This book is a valuable gift for those left behind when you are gone, or if you become unable to speak for yourself. It is a way to ensure that your final wishes are respected and your legacy lives on. A death book, also known as an end-of-life planning guide or advanced directive, is a compilation of documents and information that details how you would like your end-of-life care to be managed, funeral arrangements, wills, and other important aspects. It's never too early to start planning for the future, and creating a death book is an important part of that process. Even if you are young or in good health, it's essential to have your end-of-life wishes documented in case of unexpected events. One of the main benefits of having a death book is that it allows you to have control over what happens after you pass away. Consider reviewing it once a year to update anything that has changed. Share this book with personal representatives or family members who will be making decisions for you after your passing or in the case of incapacitation. I shouldn't use words that I can't say. Involving them in the process and discussing your desires beforehand can help minimize confusion or disagreements later on. Wow, you guys, you have no idea. Especially, we'll get to this actually. Creating a death book is an empowering act that ensures your final wishes are honored. It also eases the burden on loved ones who may struggle with making decisions during a time of grief and loss. By taking the time to create this document, you are providing your family with your final act as their loving wife, mother, sister, daughter, friend. Ta-da! Okay, so that is the introduction. I would love for any of you that would like access to this to jump into my DMs on Instagram. Or if you don't have Instagram, shoot me an email, gina@revitalizedwomanhood.com. Instagram is, of course, @revitalizedwomanhood. Wow. Hayes, do not come in this room again. Do not come in this room again. Anyway, we'll probably see my 9-year-old 4 more times. Anyway, I would love to send you the printable version of this. Let me know. Hopefully you are already subscribed to my newsletter. Hopefully you are already part of our free Facebook group, Revitalized Womanhood free Facebook group. And hopefully, I don't know why you're not yet, you are at least considering joining the Revitalized Sisterhood, the private coaching community, where we are talking about conversations. We are having conversations about topics like this. So, all right, where this all began for me, myself, and my husband, Rick. In 2014, Rick was told that he would need to have a heart ablation done. So we had just had our second baby, and this was terrifying for us. For Rick, he had been in and out of emergency rooms. Oh my gosh, when we were dating, before we got married, his last event was getting his tonsils out, which almost killed him, by the way. That's a story for another day. But was getting his tonsils out, and the doctor had said, wow, I see that you've had, he was 28 years old, I believe he's 28 years old. And the doctor says, I see that you've had stitches. What is this? 25 times in your life? He's 28 years old and he's had stitches 25 times. Are you kidding me? I have 3 boys. None of them have ever had stitches. Hayes should have had stitches one time. We were in Croatia. He was 4, sliced open his knee on those lava rocks. Anyone knows. And I mean, to the point where I was like, yeah, this needs stitches. And Rick looks at it and goes, go play in the ocean, right? The salt will help it. It'll be fine. Luckily, that was fine. That was an okay situation. Phew. But other than that, fingers, like knock on wood, I have not had to deal with this. However, so here we are married on our second child, and we're told that Rick has to have a heart ablation done, which is apparently, now we know, I don't know if it's I don't know if you would call it a common thing, but it's a non-invasive, right? It's something they do with a scope. So it's not like they're cutting open his chest or anything, but there's always side effects. There's always things that can go wrong, whatever, right? So here we are with our 3-year-old little boy whom we adore, and Rick is the best dad too. And we just had this brand new little baby who we adore. And Rick is the best dad too. And we are just this little family that is so happy and glad to be together, right? We don't have much, but we have each other. And I remember Rick talking to his doctor about these specific things. I mean, saying to him, listen, this is my son, Castle. I want you to recognize that I am a father. This is my wife, Gina. I want you to recognize that I am a husband. I want you to know that I am their provider. This family is my everything. And the doctor's like, yeah, of course. And Rick's like, no, I really, really want you to see that I'm not just another surgery for you. I am a human being with this family that counts on me and who loves me, and I love them, right? So we went through all of that. It was very scary. So after that, we have been, since 2014, we have been very on our game of what life insurances we carry, what Rick owns a wood mill and has worked in wood shops. And so if he was ever hurt at work, so we have, oh my gosh, what's it called? If you're hurt, disability leave, like disability benefits, right? Disability benefits, workman's comp benefits, like everything. We have all of these insurances and protections and things set in place so that if anything, God forbid, happened to him or to myself, that we would be taken care of or our children would be taken care of. So those kinds of things you think about, but then next level was, okay, well, we are traveling a lot, and sometimes we travel as a couple and we don't take our kids. So what if something happens to us while we're traveling? What happens to our kids? This could also be in the events of car accidents, you guys. Like, what happens when mom and dad are out of the picture and now left are these kids? Who gets these kids? Grandma and grandpa are too old to raise these kids. Like, right? Does it go to a sister? Does it go to a brother? Is everybody in the family going to fight over who gets these kids? So having that in place, we started it by just writing it because, of course, we didn't have a lot of money to do this. I will tell you, with this death book that I'm making, obviously it's not like a whole will and testament. It's just a good item to have in your home in case something happens. It's an easy thing to grab and have all the information in one place, right? However, Rick and I went and last year finalized having our whole estate done, all our will and everything, like executors and beneficiaries, and what happens if the kids are this old if we pass away, what happens when the kids are this old, how much money they get when they're this age, how much money they get when they're this age, what we want to have happen to the investments. It's very specific. Cost us $6,000, you guys. It did. It cost us $6,000. We went to an attorney, had this all done legally, and it was not cheap. So, that being said, I do not think it needs to be that expensive. I mean, right? Unless you've got like business partners and things that you need to think about these kinds of things, and really bringing in attorneys to make sure that it's done right. But anyway, we started thinking about these things as the kids started getting older and we would go on trips by ourselves. I just actually started just writing it down. Even if something happens to us, my sister Sarah gets our kids. Like, that's it. It was just written down on paper. I signed it. There you go. Right. So no one in our family would fight that. They would know that that's what we decided, and they would honor those wishes. But anyway, so you guys, this isn't like to be morbid. This is just to be prepared. we put so much love and energy into making sure our kids are in the right schools or homeschooled and on the right path that we want for them that way, or the best foods they're eating, the best clothes, and their clothes are always clean and they're always happy, and they have the best medical needs and they have their best, right? We spend our lives focusing on all of these ways to make sure our families are taken care of, but we don't consider the possibility of what happens if I'm gone. And that seems a little short-sighted to me. So let's not let that happen. So, like I said, there are some books out there that you can get that are actual like made books. If you'd like my downloads, I am happy to send them. Just reach out to me on Instagram or to my email. Also, Dave Ramsey has one I saw. If you're more of like a techie person that you want all of your stuff like accessible online, he has one. Let's see, actually, I have it right here. Let me tell you what it's called. It's called RamseySolutions.com/retirement/legacy drawer, keep your family prepared. So it's Dave Ramsey. Is this Dave Ramsey, right? Or is this just like Ramsey Solutions? I'm pretty sure it's Dave Ramsey. Anyway, okay, sorry. Back to it. Come back to it. So there are different options. There are different ways of getting this done. I mean, first and foremost, have the conversation with your spouse and your family, and make sure whoever babysits your kids when you're gone, grandma and grandpa, know exactly where this book is or that this book exists. I think you should talk to your parents about it. If you have grandparents that are still living, I think this is something that you should talk to everybody about. I actually had one of our, we were having a lesson in one of our it's our Relief Society. We had a mortuary come and actually give this presentation, and I could see how it would be construed as a little morbid, but I appreciated it. Like, I really loved the information. I was like, wow, I would love to know that I'm taking all of this stress and pressure off of my family, but B, that they're not feeling guilty for not getting me the Cadillac of coffins throw me in a pine box, for heaven's sakes, burn my body and dump me over the Atlantic. I don't know. I don't care. Like, really, I'm sorry. This is something that is very personal for so many different people. And I'm not trying to make light of it in the way that I'm not taking it seriously. I'm trying to make light of it in the way that this is another one of those conversations that we need to be having. This is like talking about things to normalize it, make it part of normal conversations, make it something that every family has a death book in their home, so that if God forbid something happens and it comes down to it, it's your last way of taking care of your family, right? Watching out for them and protecting them and taking care of them. So, all right, ladies, it was kind of a short one, but I thought we'd make it through at least 25 minutes without my family barging in, but we did not. And not only did they not just barge in once, they barged in like 5 times. So mom life, hashtag mom life. Hashtag travel with the trimmers, trimmer family travels. Thank you so much. And if you have not done it yet, the Revitalized Sisterhood coaching community is open for enrollment right now. Go check it out, revitalizedwomanhood.com. And please, like always, if you would do so, rate and review this episode for me so that it goes higher on the podcast sphere and the message gets out to more people. If this is something that you love and feel like you should share, please do so. Please share this episode, share it on your socials. And if you do, please be sure to tag me so that I can personally thank you. All right, ladies, till next time, we'll see you later.